We start off on the rooftops of Detroit. Flash and Green Arrow are following a strange woman that appears to be as fast as Green Arrow's shots and agile enough to dodge the Flash's attacks. The three run all over the city, but once the woman's powers stop, she trips and falls off the tallest building. Before we could see what happened, the screen turned black and we were taken to 3 days before the incident. In jail, we meet the mysterious woman. Her name is Mary McCabe, and she's about to get out of her cell because her fee has been paid off. Mary's stepfather is the one that paid it in exchange for a meal and a chance to catch up and talk for a while. We learn Mary is here for work but failed to get it as her contractor didn't quite like her work, and since the man tried to abuse her, she stabbed him with a pen. She only broke his hand, but it was enough to put her in jail for assault. Mary desperately wants to find her biological parents, but so far her journey didn't have any positive results. As they are walking on the streets, they get robbed and Mary's father gets punched. Mary, in shock, activates her necklace power, giving her strength and agility. But she doesn't realize that. The shock didn't let her analyze what happened until later, when her stepdad told her what happened. Mary then goes back to her old room, where she sees all the pictures of her childhood. And remember her stepmother. Every time someone picked on Mary, her stepmom would help her get through it and stand for what she thinks is right. We learn that in fact, Mary's stepmom gifts her the necklace that gave her powers. She said it belonged to her biological mother and that it is in fact a Anasi totem. While she was unaware of the powers of the totem, her stepmother had a strong feeling that one day the necklace would be the key to her future. Back in the present day, Mary visits a professor at the University of Detroit. She wants the professor to look at the necklace and see if he can find where it comes from. Once he looks at it, the professor is surprised. This totem comes from an ancient civilization in Zambezi. Apparently, Anasi was an ancient god for them, the god of tricks. He gave all of his power to a warrior that used the same necklace. While Mary already knew all of this, she wanted more, especially about the legend of the powers. She explains that lately, the totem gave her abilities that she doesn't understand. The professor answers that the wearer of it can access the ash of the animal kingdoms. Ash means life force, essence, and even power. So it basically means that the totem can conjure any animal the wearer can get access to. The speed of the cheetah, the agility of the antelope, the strength of an elephant, etc. Mary at first feared the possibility of this being true, but the professor assures her it is just a legend. As Mary leaves, we learn the professor was actually behind the attack on her. The people that tried to rob her were actually targeting her and wanted the necklace for their contractor. He calls his boss, a mysterious woman that appears to have the means to get anything she wants. The professor assures her boss that he can get her to come back, so they plan an ambush in order to steal the necklace. Back at her place, Mary explains to her stepdad the magic of the necklace. He doesn't believe her at first, but Mary has seen other superhumans and believes that her powers would be normal compared to others. Understanding that her stepfather doesn't believe her, she then makes a little demonstration. She conjured the strength of an elephant and lifted the table with only one hand. With the power of a spider, crawled through a building without using her hands. She then thought and tried to fly with the power of an eagle, but at the last second, she doubted herself and didn't jump off the house. In Star Labs, in Central City, the Flash and Cisco, his best friend, are reviewing some of the footage of Mary's fight with her robbers. They believe she is a superhuman and they need to find her before she becomes a problem. Green Arrow joins the Flash and the both of them go to Mary's place. At first, Mary thought the two of them wanted to send her back to her cell, so she ran away using the speed of a cheetah. She knocked back the Flash for a while and left behind Green Arrow, but the two of them catch up and ambush her. That was where we started, but when Mary falls, she finally understands how to use the power of an eagle and fly. As she's about to leave flying, Flash tells her they only wanted to talk. They weren't chasing her cause, they wanted to lock her up but help her understand her powers to the fullest. Mary doesn't want their help and instead just leaves with her new flying techniques. Mary then goes back to the professor that promised to help her if anything went wrong. She shows the professor the powers she discovered from the totem, but as she finishes, two men burst out of the door with the mysterious woman we saw before. The woman threatens Mary because she wants the totem for herself. Mary wants to give her the totem but can't get it off. The professor then explains that it's too late. The totem is bound to her, and it is impossible that the two of them can be put apart. So the mysterious woman then tries to attack Mary. Mary tries to escape, but one bodyguard of the woman shoots her and she falls to the ground while trying to fly away. Mary then wakes up in a room with the mysterious lady. The lady then explains that she actually knows about Mary's history and the history of the necklace. Because she is actually her sister, she shows her she brought her to Africa, to her old home. There she explains that the powers of the totem protected the city, but when local warlords attacked the village, the protector fell and that's when their mother took Mary and the totem and fled. Mary's sister was going to be the net in line to gain the powers of the totem, but since it already bonded with Mary, she would sacrifice her in order to gain its power. With the energy of the totem, Mary escapes, but she doesn't get too far, as the climate of Africa goes hard on her. Once she passes out, her sister takes the necklace from her and leaves her to eternal sleep. In a vision, Mary sees the genuine spirits of the animals. They urge her to not give up, to save the totem and all the life that is in it. Her sister is corrupted and will only bring darkness if she takes the powers of the necklace. They will grant Mary the powers of the totem as long as she promises to be the guardian for real this time. She accepts her destiny and confronts her sister with the help of the spirit of the jungle. After some fighting, Mary poisons her sister, stripping the powers of the necklace from her. Once she is discapacitated, she takes the necklace back and leaves her just like she left her. Back at Detroit, with her newfound identity, Mary fights crime as she sees Detroit as her new village and wants to keep it safe. That's when Green Arrow and the Flash appear once again at her house. Once again, they explain to her they only want to help her and train her as they trained each other. While Mary agrees that would be nice and she definitely needs training, she wants to discover things on her own for now. While Mary fights crime, her power becomes more unpredictable, and she doesn't feel like she has control anymore. She first tries to contact the same professor that helped her and betrayed her at the university, but he is gone. So she goes to see an animal expert that her father recommended. The zoologist doesn't quite understand what Mary wants to know, so she ends up giving Mary a job close to the animal that she wants to learn from. After a while of working there, the animal expert gets attacked by some smuggler that is trying to blackmail her and her zoo. Mary wants to help her as she helps her understand how to not control the spirits of the animal but embrace them. With her new connection to the animal, she locks the smugglers away and helps the animal expert protect the zoo. 1 year has passed and Vixen is still fighting crime and protecting the city when she notices that the professor that betrayed her is back in town. Going to his exposition, Mary learns that there is not just one totem, but there are several. One of each element, in fact: earth, water, air, and fire, and the most precious of all, hers, spirit. The professor also found the fire totem and wants to give it to the local museum, as thanks for all of his years of investigation. The professor is shocked to see her, but assures her he didn't want to do any harm to her. Her sister was the one with the malicious intentions, and he wanted to help her understand her powers and how all the totems could be linked to each other. Mary refuses to believe him again, and just leaves to continue fighting the crime. As she fights the weather wizard, she gets struck by lightning and gets incapacitated. On the same night that this happened, the fire totem gets stolen by a mysterious figure. Once Mary learns about this, she goes to the museum to investigate. She tracks down the man who stole it and the man who wants to buy it, but she gets to him too late. As she is about to get him, the man uses the fire totem and gets its power. The man knows Mary and claims to also know her mother, since the two of them had a connection. He says to Mary that if she gives him the spirit totem, he will let her live. Mary doesn't accept the two fights, but the power of the fire totem is too strong and the man beats Mary. Mary then escapes and tells the professor what happened. He doesn't know how to help her, as he claims to only know the history but not the magic of the totems, so the both of them fly to Africa to meet with her sister once again. Her sister, now in a hospital since the fight with Mary stripped her of her magical powers, explains to them that man handled the fall of their tribe, and that he even was the one that killed their father, the last protector of their totem. General Eshu is the name of this man. Of course, Mary's sister wants revenge on this man, so she promises to let them know where to find the totem that could beat him, the water totem, in exchange for the chance to fight him. They track down the water totem to the mansion of some wealthy man in the Start City. Just as they are about to get the totem, Mary's sister betrays her once again and gets the totem for herself. The both of them fight and Mary's sister attempts to run away. When Adam and Black Canary appear, Green Arrow sends them as a backup in case anything went badly. Mary then convinced her sister that they were not the real enemy. Eshu wants to destroy the city and everything Mary holds dear. The four of them then decide to take on Eshu directly and try to strip him away from the powers of the totem. Mary, the wielder of the spirits, can take the energy of the token according to the professor. While they were fighting, Mary's sister sacrificed herself to win the time. The professor used to find Mary and tell her that in order for them to win, Mary had to be the one that destroys the totem, as she is the most powerful of them all. With all the strength of the animal kingdom, Mary does it and defeats Eshu, getting payback for all that he had made to her and her family. Mary then joins Arrow's and Flash's team as a permanent member, fighting crime at every opportunity she gets.